It's that time of the year again. A time where the disturbing and the macabre are celebrated. Unless you're a friggin' baby, of course, because all Halloween means to small children is candy and dress up. But really, October is one of my favorite months of the year, right up there with December. And one thing I plan to do this October is go back to my roots a bit and cover some Game Jolt horror games. Be warned, you're gonna see a few Five Nights at Freddy's fan games, because, ironically, they seem to be the ones with the highest quality. At least when it comes to Game Jolt. It's weird, I know. But before that, I'd like to talk about some honorable mentions. With honorable mention number 1, we have The Juice of God's Future. This game isn't really scary, per se, but I found it in the horror section of Game Jolt, so I'm counting it, I guess. In this game, you play as a eugenics scientist in charge of letting creative, intelligent, and generally non-depressed people live, while you turn the rest of the depressed, room temperature IQ heathens into Soylent Green. That angry guy with the mustache that nobody likes would be proud. Jokes aside, it's an interesting concept, I suppose, but the game itself is incredibly bare bones. Most of the people brought in to have their fate decided by you are people you would generally consider helpful to society in some way. So, if you're a good boy like me, you end up juicing a minimal amount of people. If you juice specific types of people and let others go free, you'll get one of multiple endings. After like, 5 minutes of gameplay. It's okay, I guess, not really anything special, and it gets incredibly repetitive pretty quickly. It could be something really good if the game's ideas and concepts were fleshed out into something that had more features and had enough content to keep you interested for more than 30 minutes. Honorable mention number 2 is called Alone. In this game, you play as a silent protagonist with no known background other than he's an officer of some sort, who wakes up from cryosleep on a futuristic spaceship. Your job, from the look of things, is to repair the ship and escape. I'm just gonna get into what I think of the game. It's not great. It's not bad, but not great. The audio balancing is horrible, with some sounds being ear-piercing. No? That's loud. My frames drop harder than an average Walmart shopper when I get near a monster.
Taking any chances.
Oh! And it's a slog considering that there are no checkpoints, so if you die, you'll have to start all over. The monsters are detectable via Geiger counter. I don't hear the monster. I had to open my big fat mouth. But if you even breathe in their general direction, they'll instantly kill you. Tie that with a lack of checkpoints that I described earlier, and you have a game that I couldn't bring myself to finish after multiple attempts. However, I don't recognize any assets used, so it's safe to say that everything used here is original, and not just taken off of some store, so that's good. The environment is also pretty nice and spooky, and I was originally afraid of the monsters. Well, that fear kind of went away after playing the game a lot. Anyway, it obviously has a lot of effort and passion behind it, so I can't crap on it too hard. Alright, now it's time to talk about the games that are really worth talking about. The game we're going to be discussing next is called Lurking. It's an experimental horror game where you can only see what you hear. This game is actually pretty cool. You're pretty much completely blind while standing still and not doing anything. But when you throw stuff or scream into your microphone, like your mom did last night, you see sound waves bounce off of the environment, letting you see in a way. Here's the thing though, other people in this building have the same exact ability as you, but they're less than passive. Plus, there are no authority figures to help keep you safe. It's It's a good thing they're all blind, though, otherwise you'd be screwed. The objective is simple. Get the hell out of there, and don't get bored by the mean red guys. Oh, is he eating him? Oh, he's eating his ass. No, ew. They can be lured away from you if you throw something off into the distance. Here's the thing, though. Because they have the same sound-based sight as you, they will see you if you get too close. And they run much faster than you do for some reason. By the way, the hit detection for these guys is wonky as hell. They could kill you through walls. But hey, that's a Unity game, so that's to be expected. Throughout the game, you can collect cliché audio logs of a scientist working on human experiments, involving a device of some sort that is mentioned multiple times. You can hear him get audibly more and more agitated and angry as the people funding his experiments are questioning why they're spending money on a risky project that isn't going anywhere quickly. You, the player, are an unknown patient who underwent these experiments and had only recently woken up from sleep. Presumably a coma, as evidenced by the fact that you start the game right next to a hospital bed. The doctor in the audio logs did mention that one of the patients wasn't waking up. My own personal theory is that you were this patient, yet you seem to be the only sane one in the entire facility. You, the player, are the one thing the doctor got right. The game is very tense, and it can be stressful to be completely blind and be forced to make a noise while risking luring a red Vordu towards your location. There's a real sense of panic when you hear that chase music crank up and you start running for the nearest exit you can find. I would highly recommend checking this game out. I've heard that a spiritual successor with the same sound mechanics has been created by the people who made this game, so I might look at that in the future. This next game is a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, One Night at Flumpty's 2. This is pretty much a short and sweet take on the twitchy, camera-checking, panic-induced ADHD simulator from 2015. The story of One Night at Flumpty's 2 is that a magical egg has the ability to be the biggest Mary Sue in all of fiction, but instead of being a righteous, selfless, heroic protagonist that's great at everything that everybody loves, he's kind of a dick. A murderous one at that. According to Flumpty himself, he's immune to the plot, so say if he were to be in any danger of anything in any way, he could just say screw it and instantly make every possible future or past event go into his favor, even if that means killing everyone. Fun fact, this character existed before even the first One Night at Flumpty's game, as a small little hobby created by Jonachrome and the rest of his friends. In this game, you're presumably the second person that Flumpty has decided to kidnap. You're stuck in a small, hand-drawn room filled with weird and/or gross things littered about, a light switch, 2 closable vents, only one of which can be closed at a time, and a laptop with the worst battery life I've ever seen in anything, that is connected to various cameras throughout Flumpty's playhouse. You don't have any doors you can close, but the light switch is your main defense. If a character pops out from the hallway in front of you, you have to shut the lights off before they see you. You're not completely screwed if they do see you, but you die once you've been seen too much. You can check the cameras to see when specific characters are going to pop out of the hallway. All of them have their own different patterns that you have to follow and keep track of. They all have different amount of damage that they do to your exposure bar that you have to keep track of to know how much health or something that you have left. However, if you beat the game, there's one more thing that you may have noticed in the main menu. It's pretty much just a harder version of the game that you've already played. Hold on, did I say hard? I meant it kicks you in the balls repeatedly, and when it says it banged your mother last night, it means it. Don't do hard-boiled mode unless you either really want to get pissed off, or you're really twitchy and have a good memory. This game has a lot of creativity and charm to it. I thoroughly enjoyed both games, actually. I didn't talk about the first one because it's pretty much just a scaled-down version of the original Five Nights at Freddy's, with a few changes and twists to the gameplay here and there, along with some oddball humor and inside jokes sprinkled in. They're both free, so you don't have to commit to anything other than your free time. Jonachrome, I gotta say, you made something pretty great. Well, that's all the worthwhile games I could find and review within the month. It's been fun working on this little project. If you'd like more videos like this one and a Slendy Tubbies video, let me know. Hell, I could also review things that aren't indie horror, like AAA horror. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks a lot. It means a lot to me that some people enjoy my stuff enough to stick around to the end. One thing I'd like to say though, I value criticism over dislike as a way to know that I should improve something. So if you thought this video was absolutely awful, then tell me why. Even if you liked the video, tell me what you like specifically. Well, alright. I'll see y'all later. Happy Halloween.